Good evening and welcome to FSU Weather. I'm student meteorologist Jennifer Collins.
And I'm student meteorologist Mike Lonan. Jennifer, it was very cool and blustery out there today. After that cold front passed through yesterday, had some severe weather yesterday morning, but now much nicer outside.
Yeah, the word of the day that you're going to be hearing a lot here on FSU Weather is actually high pressure system, because that's what's over the southeast right now. That's why we're seeing clear skies, nice comfortable temperatures, a little bit cooler than typical.
Yeah, it's been very cool today across the eastern part of the country, but don't worry, tomorrow will warm up back to average, and it's going to feel, again, like spring.
Yeah, we're seeing temperatures similar to January time with these cooler night temperatures heading into the morning hours. But today here on FSU Weather, we're actually going to go over your weather week heading on throughout the rest of the week. We'll actually see some clear conditions heading throughout most of this middle of April. We'll also go over some Boston Marathon weather history, as today was the Boston Marathon in Boston, Massachusetts, as well as we're actually going to go over some severe weather headlines that happened yesterday.
Yeah, quick recap of the severe weather this past weekend. So we'll get into that for the rest of our show. But for now, let's send it out to the wall with Alyssa for our overview.
Thank you, guys. Yes, that cold front did push through yesterday, and then after that was sunshine, but the conditions will continue to be cool and dry over the next few days. We will be below average, reaching temperatures in the mid to upper 70s when we should be in the 80s. But the winds will stay gusty over the next few days, so that will continue to persist. But going into this weekend, will that continue? We'll give you an update of that throughout the rest of our forecast. But looking at our temperatures for today, our high was 71 degrees, well below the average for this time of year, as well as our overnight lows being 42 degrees, about 10 degrees both ways around, but nowhere near our record. For tomorrow, we're seeing our high temperature being 78 degrees, sunny. Winds will be coming from the west-northwest, pretty gusty going tomorrow, so definitely bring that jacket around. And what is to come? Absolute sunshine. Nothing really to worry about in terms of rain until this weekend, which we will give you an update of that in our future cast. But going in from Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, sunshine, we will begin to heat back up towards average temperatures in the highs as well as the lows. So definitely something to look forward to towards your end of your week. But I'm actually going to hand it on over to Tyler to look at our local weather.
Thank you, Alyssa. So focusing in on Tallahassee, I don't know about everybody else, but it was a little too cold for my taste outside today. But it was a gorgeous day. The live look outside, you can see the stadium right here, and look how clear it is. There's no clouds, no rain, nothing like that. So it was a really beautiful day today here in Tallahassee. And currently it's 70 degrees, so it's not too hot, not too cold right now, and it is sunny outside. There are some kind of strong winds coming out of the northwest, though, at about 13 miles per hour. So keep that in mind if you're heading outside. You can see that in the satellite and radar. If you look down here in the southeast region, nothing at all throughout all these states. Florida, Georgia, Alabama, and Mississippi. There's really no kind of cloud cover or anything like that we saw on Sunday. That front's passed us, and now we're getting a lot of the colder, drier air that you would see associated with a cold front like we saw. Again, nothing on the satellite and radar throughout the entire day. So a nice clear one for us today in Tallahassee. And our temperature is about 70 degrees, like I said earlier, and that's pretty average for our region. 68, so a little bit cooler in Quincy, 70 in Bainbridge. And down in Apalachicola, down at 67, so they're a bit cooler, but nothing too terrible. Up here in Valdosta, 65, and Perry, a bit warmer at 72. Sunshine throughout our entire region. But look at these dew points. Because we have a lot of colder, drier air today, it's not feeling humid or muggy outside at all. A dew point of 38 here in Tallahassee is fantastic. Quincy, 39. Bit higher in Bainbridge at 46, and a bit higher in Apalachicola, where they have some of that moisture coming off the bay. But really, compared to what we normally get this time of year, that's nothing at all. And 36 in Perry. So really nice dew points. Tonight's forecast should be a very clear night. Pretty cold, 43 here in Tallahassee, bit cooler, 42 in Quincy, and a little bit warmer in Apalachicola at 46, and they'll be getting some clouds, but pretty much throughout the Big Bend region in our area should be clear skies tonight with cooler temperatures than we saw during the day. And looking at our futurecast satellite and radar, you can see heading into tomorrow, Tuesday, no clouds, no rain, nothing like that you need to worry about. There should be another clear, sunshiny day here in Tallahassee. Temperature a little bit higher than what we saw today, 78, but still not that warm, about what we'd expect this time in spring. Again, sunny, and there will be some winds coming out of the northwest at about 7 miles per hour. And looking abroad at the Big Bend region, you can see that Tallahassee at 77, a bit on the high side actually for the region. Most things are a little lower, 75 in Monticello, down to 72 in St. Mark's, or what we're seeing, 77 in Quincy and 77 in Bainbridge. But throughout the area, it really should be a nice day tomorrow. Not much to worry about. Looking ahead to the rest of the week, you can see Tuesday, like we said, lots of sunshine, 78 degrees with a low of 44. Wednesday, Thursday, clouds should be coming back into our area with temperatures about 84 and 82 degrees respectively. And Friday into the weekend, you can see that cloud cover is going to increase, temperatures still around the 80s, but Sunday, 70% chance of rain. So make sure to grab an umbrella, and Monday, again, 60% chance of rain. So should be some rain heading into next week. But for right now, I'm going to give it off to Jennifer, who's going to give us a look at the southeast.
Yeah, and as we take a look at the bigger picture around the southeast, we're seeing temperatures fairly comfortable after this cold front made its way on through. It's bringing us some severe weather for most portions of the southeast, but right now, after the cold front pushed its way off towards the east, we're actually left with clear conditions across most of the southeast. Temperatures sticking around mid to upper 60s, even some 70s along the map. So overall, things are fairly comfortable when you walk outside the door. These are because the dew points are fairly low. Dew points right now in the mid to upper 30s, even seeing some 40s in the Florida Peninsula. So overall, with these lower dew points, that means that it feels a lot more drier when you walk outside the door. But overall, we'll see some, with these lower dew points, we'll also see clear conditions heading on throughout most of tonight. This will allow temperatures to drop as well. The winds are coming out of the northwest. It's just making it feel a little bit more cool when you walk outside the door, as well as a bit more gustier in some locations. 15 miles per hour here in Tallahassee, as well as 16 in Atlanta, even 11 miles per hour in Tampa, where I was earlier today. You could really see the gustier winds heading outside. With these northwest winds, we're also seeing cooler temperatures along with that. And with the cooler temperatures, with that northwest wind, it's also keeping conditions very clear when you walk outside the door, seeing mostly clear skies for most areas of the southeast. And with these clear skies throughout tonight, we'll actually see temperatures decreasing a lot, even seeing some 30s in some upper locations. They even have some frost advisories for portions of northern Georgia and even northern Alabama, heading into Tennessee along with that. Futurecast not showing much heading on throughout the rest of the next few days, actually. Throughout the next few days, we'll keep mainly clear conditions, no clouds in sight. So overall, we'll actually keep these nice conditions heading throughout most of the rest of the week. Tonight's forecast, though, is fairly cold for most areas. 44 degrees for Little Rock, Arkansas. Here in Tallahassee, 43 degrees with clear conditions for most areas of northern Florida. Even 56 heading throughout Tampa, 58 from Miami. But the cooler areas will actually see a little bit more cloud cover heading throughout most of tonight. But for tomorrow, it's going to be a nice, beautiful day, especially to head outside. It's going to be beautiful, 84 degrees for Shreveport, as well as 80 degrees for Jackson, Mississippi. 77 degrees here in Tallahassee. We'll also keep clear skies heading throughout most of tomorrow. With these clear skies, we'll see temperatures spike up with the clear skies, so the temperatures spike up. 78 degrees for Montgomery, as well as 73 for Atlanta. 75 for Jacksonville, as well as 79 for Orlando. We're seeing those clear skies for most areas of Florida as well. 77 degrees for Tampa, as well as 80 degrees for Miami. So yeah, it's going to be a great few days for the southeast heading throughout most of the rest of the week, right, Tyler?
Yeah, but I'll tell you where it's not a very nice day, and that's in Massachusetts. As some of you may know, they had the Boston Marathon today, and some people are questioning if this was the worst weather they've ever had at a Boston Marathon. Runners were facing rain, wind, the cold. It was pretty awful, but it's not the only time they've had bad weather.
Yeah, so it's the worst depending on what your definition of worst is.
Right.
So yeah, the Boston Marathon's 122 years of running. They've actually never had any cancellation of the race due to weather. So
wow.
That's a pretty cool
crazy,
fun fact.
Yeah.
But in 1909, they actually had temperatures reaching around 97 degrees, so it's probably one of the hotter ones.
Right.
And that was earlier in its existence, so it was fairly warm on that day.
Yeah, that sounds more like Florida than Massachusetts. But in 1927, they had what they referred to as summer heat at the time, and it was so hot they'd actually just resurfaced some of the roads heading into Boston, and as runners were running into the city, the road was melting underneath their feet. So as if running 26 miles wasn't hard enough.
Well, it was their shoes that were melting because
Oh,
it was
I'm
so
sorry.
hot.
Shoes
Yeah,
were
it was
melting.
the
Gotcha,
shoes that were
gotcha.
melting, so they're actually kind of sticking to the ground as they're
Okay.
running along.
That's a little less crazy than the roads actually melting.
Yeah, so in 1961, they actually had snow squalls during the Boston Marathon. It was one of the colder ones. They were driving 10 to 12 mile per hour winds in 1961, and that meant that temperatures were around 39 degrees. That meant that the runners and spectators had to stay warm during that time.
Right, that's awful. I don't know if you've ever tried running in the wind. It is not fun
No.
at all. And then in 2004, going back to the heat, they had a lot of heat, and the temperature reached 85 degrees. It was the hottest marathon since 1987. So
wow.
They've seen apparently a lot of really high temperatures, but
Yeah.
not so much the lower ones.
Well, in 2007, they saw another cold one. In 2007, the marathon was nearly canceled, one of the only cancellations that nearly came due to weather. 20 to 30 mile per hour headwinds were expected along with the wind chills in the 20s. So it was very cold when you head out there. Engineers were worried about one of the photo bridges that they were using and bleachers could come down during the wind, and also warming temps could have collapsed on some of the runners. So
wow, that's awful. Going back to the heat though, in 2012, it was so hot, more than 2,100 runners had to be treated for dehydration. That is a ton of people that need water.
But as we take a look at things more locally, we're going to send things out to the wall with AJ for a look at what's going on around Tallahassee.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, I guarantee those runners up there in Boston today were craving a day like we had here in Tallahassee today. We had no clouds whatsoever in the sky for the entirety of the day, with some mild temperatures that were actually pretty significantly lower than what we are used to for this time of year. We only got up to 71 degrees, whereas we are used to getting up to that 80-degree mark, and our low of 42 this morning was 10 degrees colder than what we're used to of 52 for this time of year. Now currently for the capital city, we are sitting at 70 degrees with that sun pretty much dominating the entire region. And it is a little windy out there right now, with those winds coming out of the west-northwest at 13 miles per hour. Now, if we take a look around the region, we got some pretty uniform temperatures right here, and those temperatures are pretty mild. Tallahassee sitting at 70 degrees, Perry at 72 degrees, Thomasville at 66, and Valdosta at 65. But look at all these sunshines on this map here. We have had plenty of sunshine after we got all of that rain yesterday, and we're looking for that sun to stick around for much of the week. Now, as I was saying, it is pretty windy outside right now, with those winds coming all out of the northwest, with Tallahassee sitting at 15 miles per hour, Monticello at 19 miles per hour, as is Thomasville. So we got some pretty blustery conditions out there, making it actually feel a little bit cooler than it actually is. And along with those winds, we've got some pretty dry conditions out there, which is not what we're used to for this time of year for spring moving into summer. 38-degree dew point means that it is definitely dry out in Tallahassee right now. 36 in Perry and 37 in Thomasville. A little bit more muggy up there at Bainbridge, where they are sitting at 46, but still that is nothing compared to those 70-degree dew points that we get for this time of year usually. Now, if we pull up this national satellite and radar, what I want you guys to keep an eye on is this system that's starting to potentially develop over in the northwest Pacific coast, and that is what could potentially bring us some rain as we move into the weekend. But until then, we are going to be seeing some absolutely perfect conditions, some beautiful skies, not a lot of rain. We didn't have any clouds in the sky today, and that is pretty much what we're going to be looking forward to tonight and even into tomorrow. Tallahassee, it's going to be another chilly night, but it's going to be pretty clear out there, as is Monticello, getting down to 43 degrees, as will Thomasville. So much of our region is getting down into the low 40s, so it's definitely going to be a chilly one out there tonight. Now for tomorrow, Tallahassee getting up to 78 degrees, finally creeping back towards those average temperatures that we are used to for this time of year. And if we pull up this 7-day here, you can see absolutely gorgeous for the rest of the week until we get into Sunday and Monday, when we have the potential for our next rainfall to occur. But now I'm going to send things over to Michael with a look at our national.
Yeah, AJ, that forecast looks absolutely gorgeous, but as we take a look at our national picture, you can see it is very chilly across the eastern two-thirds of the country. The main reason is because that low pressure system giving all the severe weather and snow. a lot of weather it gave. It finally exited the east. And you can see actually Dallas and San Antonio, they're in the 80s right now, so it's pretty warm over there. Dew points are really low across the entire country. That's because of that low pressure system finally making its way out into the Atlantic, bringing in all this drier air from Canada. The dew points are a little bit higher down towards Texas, though. There's basically the final stages of that potent low pressure system. It gave a lot of snow and blizzard conditions up to the north, a lot of severe weather down to the south. It was a basically gloomy, raw kind of day up towards New York City and Boston. The marathon was one of the worst in history in terms of weather. And then New York, the subway system was flooded because of that. It was just incredible what the storm system had done across the entire country ever since Friday, basically. You can also see there's some snow bands out towards Cincinnati, Chicago, Cleveland, Detroit. So they're getting some of the remnants from this low pressure system, but it is making its way out to the Atlantic. Now, with this colder air filtering in behind the system, you have a lot of freeze warnings. That's the purple region you see right here, and the light blue are frost advisories. So the main thing to take away from this is to protect all your plants, because they can really die with these cold temperatures below 32 degrees. Now out towards the west, it has been dry and windy. You can see some rain showers trying to form in northern Arizona out towards Flagstaff, but it is really dry. The drought monitor is showing you a lot of extreme and exceptional drought, shown in that red and darker red shades here on our drought monitor. And as a result, we have a lot of fire watches and warnings. That's indicated by the pink here. And that's going to remain the story, as we're not expecting much rain and the winds are going to persist as we head into these next few days. But the colder conditions that were here in the east today, it will finally make its way out. You can see much warmer conditions across the south, more typical for April finally. 87 in Dallas, 76 in Memphis, and 77 here in Tallahassee. But for now, I'm going to send it back to the desk with AJ, and we're going to talk about the severe weather that a lot of the South experienced ever since Friday going into Saturday and into Sunday.
Yeah, I know that yesterday morning I actually woke up from all that thunder and lightning that was going on here in Tallahassee, and we were certainly not the only ones that were feeling the effects of that.
Yeah, it started on Friday afternoon in Arkansas, Louisiana, and eastern Texas. There was a major tornado up towards northern Arkansas.
Yeah, there were actually 21 tornadoes that were reported yesterday, and they went pretty much from Florida all the way up to Ohio. So pretty much the entire East Coast was getting the effects of this severe weather.
Yeah, this storm was amazing. You had the blizzard conditions up to the north. You had heavy snow. Some places reported more than a foot up towards Minnesota. And then you had the tornado threat down the south. And then that system is stalled out kind of as we head into Saturday afternoon. I was looking at the rainfall amounts in Mississippi and Alabama yesterday. Some places got up to 10 inches of rain.
Yeah, those are just absurd numbers that we're hearing from a storm like this. And there was actually a water spout that was spotted off Tampa. And there was actually another tornado that was only about 20 miles from my hometown in Virginia that was a EF1 tornado that caused a significant amount of damage for Virginia, and that we're not used to that type of weather in early April.
Yeah, this is a storm more typical of February, March, not of April. At this time in April, we're more getting towards a more quieter pattern. But here in Tallahassee, we got the severe thunderstorm warning because of this the strong line moving through the region yesterday in the morning at around 9:30. That line also produced a tornado warning up towards Bainbridge, and then it continued north of Bainbridge. Luckily, the damage was limited to a few trees down, but we did lose power here in Bainbridge and up towards Bainbridge and in the Tallahassee region.
Yeah, and as these tornadoes are starting to we have a better chance of getting these tornadoes, it's definitely important to make sure that you are prepared and to know the difference between a tornado warning and a tornado watch. Remember that a tornado watch is there's a chance that a tornado could occur, but a tornado warning, means that a tornado has already been spotted near your region, or there is a very high chance that the tornado will occur.
Yeah, we're just getting into severe weather season. A lot of our tornadoes here in the U.S. occur in late April and throughout May. So we're just getting into the thick of it. So
but for now, I'm actually going to head back out to the wall and give us a look at our Florida forecast. Now, if we pull up this map here, we can see some pretty uniform temperatures throughout much of the Sunshine State. With our hotspot down here in Miami, they're the only place on this map that's even getting above 75 degrees. So we've got low to or mid to upper 60s, even into the 70s here for much of Florida, but we have plenty of sunshine for the entire Sunshine State. I guess that's where we get our name. Now, if we pull up this 24-hour temperature change, not much going on here in Tallahassee, only 3 degrees warmer than it was yesterday. But as we move south, where they are started to see the effects of that cold front later in the day yesterday, they are getting some cooler temperatures as that cold front moved through. Tampa, 8 degrees colder than it was yesterday at this time. Orlando, 6 degrees colder than it was yesterday at this time for them. Now, the dew points all show we've been saying how dry it is throughout much of the country, and Florida is no exception to the dryness. Tallahassee, 38-degree dew point. Even Tampa down there at 49 degrees, that is still not too bad for a dew point. And they are pretty much, besides Fort Myers, they're the pretty much highest dew point on this map. So pretty convenient dew points for pretty much the entire state of Florida. Now, if we pull up the satellite and radar here, you can see still some lingering snow and rain showers for much of the northeast. And that's what gave the Boston Marathon a pretty terrible conditions for this morning. But out here to the west is what we need to be focusing on, because that is what could produce our next chance for rainfall here in Tallahassee and much of Florida. Now, if I zoom in here to Florida, we can see that there is absolutely nothing going on in the entire state. Not even any clouds that I see on this map. Quite frankly, there's no precipitation, no clouds. Absolutely perfect sunny skies for the entire state. And if we pull up these winds here, we can see those northwest winds are pretty much dominating the entire state of Florida, and it's pretty gusty out there, with Orlando at 15 miles per hour, West Palm Beach at 11 miles per hour, Tampa also at 11 miles per hour, Tallahassee at 15 miles per hour. And you can see down here at the bottom of the map, you can see this clockwise rotation, and that's because of that high pressure system that's sitting over Texas right now, and that's why we are getting these beautiful skies and no precipitation whatsoever. And there's going to be no precipitation as we continue through into tonight and even into Tuesday, as we are expecting those sunny skies to continue tomorrow. Now, for tonight, it's going to be much chillier than Florida's used to for this time of year. Orlando getting down to 51, Gainesville at 44. It's going to be a pretty chilly night, but then we're looking at temperatures to warm back up tomorrow, getting closer to what we expect for this time of year, with Tallahassee getting up to 77 and much of the Sunshine State seeing much of the same. But for now, I'm going to pass things over to Alyssa with our last look at our local.
Thank you, AJ. Yes, pretty much the past few days, we saw the rain coming through on Sunday, but today, look at our weather stem. We can see just pure sunshine, and that's been going through today with our live stem. Our almanac for today, we're seeing today's high being 71 degrees, 9 degrees below the average that we should be seeing, as well as look at that low, almost 10 degrees. So that trend will continue over the next few days, being a little bit below average, but going into Thursday and Friday, we'll be back towards what we should be. Now, I know what you're thinking. Is there anything changing on here? Well, take a look at the timestamp. Nothing is going on in terms of rain or clouds here in Tallahassee, because that front has pushed through, leaving behind cooler and drier conditions. For our temperatures around the Big Bend, we're seeing it fairly in the upper 60s, low 70s. We're seeing here in Tallahassee 70 degrees, Quincy 68, and a little bit cooler towards the coast, towards Apalachicola. But all over, we're seeing fairly cool conditions, all around being lower than average. And with the wind speed and direction, we can really see how gusty it's going to be right now, and it will continue going into tonight. We're seeing here in Tallahassee 15 miles per hour. We're seeing Bainbridge at 18, and a little bit higher Monticello and Thomasville we're seeing at 19. And you can truly see the west-northwest winds coming through, bringing in some cooler air behind that front, as well as coming from the high pressure system. Now, the dew points aren't actual temperatures. I always like to point that out. Sometimes it gets a little confusing, but it's just to gauge how dry it is. So when you see these numbers in the 30s and low 40s, that shows really how dry it is. So Tallahassee, we're feeling fairly dry, 38 degrees, Quincy 37, and Bainbridge feeling a little bit more moist, still very dry, 46-degree dew point all around. Now for tonight's forecast, we're seeing fairly cool conditions in the low 40s to mid 40s. Tallahassee, we're seeing 43 degrees, St. Mark's 45, and Apalachicola just a little bit warmer because the coast will moderate their temperatures at 46 degrees. But all around, you can see that there's going to be a beautiful clear night sky, except for towards the coast, bringing a little bit more clouds. But other than that, it will be a very beautiful night going into tonight if you do have any plans. For tomorrow, though, we will continue to heat up, reaching a little bit higher temperatures closer towards our average. We're seeing here in Tallahassee 77 degrees, St. Mark's 72, and Bainbridge 77. So it will be a beautiful day going into tomorrow. But what's to come over the next few days? Sunshine, that is the complete trend. Nothing to really complain about until we get into this weekend. We're seeing temperatures begin to heat up going into Wednesday, 84 degrees. And then on Thursday, we're seeing it cool down just a little bit of foreshadowing going into the weekend, where we will see on Sunday a 70% chance of rain, as well as a 60% chance of rain going into Monday. So enjoy the rest of the week, but we're going to actually head on over to the desk. And Tyler, what are you thinking of our forecast right now?
Well, I'll tell you what, I love what we're seeing for tomorrow. 78 degrees isn't too hot, it's not too cold, lots of sunshine. I mean, it's hard not to be happy about that.
I know. I'm really excited to see us start to heat back up. You know, I'm ready to start going to the pool, really enjoying going to class, not feeling like I had to wear a jacket.
Exactly. I know. I'm much more of a summer person than a winter or fall person. Everybody's like, oh, the leaves change, or I love the cold weather. No. Give me sunshine, give me heat. I can deal with that. But the cold, no way.
Right, right. And especially with the thunder going in on Sunday,
right.
I woke up in the middle of the night terrified, but nothing to worry about the next few days. You guys can sleep soundly. So that's something to look forward to.
Yeah, little bit of clouds on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, little bit on Saturday, but really not until Sunday. Not knowing that there's not going to be much of a rain chance is so nice. If only we could have had that last weekend too.
I know, right? But going into this weekend, we will see that front. Sunday will be our highest chance of rain, 70%. Right. Cooling down a little bit, being a little bit below average. We should be reaching temperatures in the 80s right now. And
I know.
So we're getting close, but the weekend's going to be like, nope, we're going to change that up for you.
Yeah, right now we're going to give you back that rain you didn't want.
Exactly.
And then, of course, Monday there'll be rain because it's Monday. So why would you expect anything different?
Right, Mondays are the worst.
Exactly.
Just got to stick with the trend. Mondays are never a fun day.
But at least we get those couple days of nice sunshine.
Exactly. So if we can bring up the 7-day forecast just one more time, just to hone in for you guys what's going on. We're going to see for the next few days, absolute sunshine, possibility for some clouds on Thursday and Saturday, and the weekend, some possibility for some rain.
Temperature tomorrow about 78 degrees, and then low 80s for the rest of the week.
Right, but you can always follow us on Twitter, twitter.com/FSU weather.
Make sure to like us on Facebook at facebook.com/FSU weather.
We send in any pictures, and you can always watch us on YouTube/FSU weather/live.
And then, of course, follow us on Instagram at FSU weather. Send us pictures, how it looks outside, us on the air. Doesn't matter. Maybe we'll put you on our feed.
It's always fun to get pictures. But I'm student meteorologist Alyssa Pejig.
And I'm student meteorologist Tyler Bird. And I hope you have a great night tonight, Tallahassee.